And I'd like to welcome our next speaker, who is almost ready, or looks quite ready as he is now. Well, the next session is for anyone who believes that the best projects are born from a spark of curiosity and a sense of fun, discovering how pushing the boundaries of your tools can lead to unexpected innovations and lots of laughs along the way. After all, the most important work we do is also the work that we find the most fun. So I'm delighted to welcome Alexander Chatzizacharias to the stage as he is about to demonstrate that your IDE is actually a game engine. Ooh, that's nice. Give him a hand.
Thank you very much. Typically, this is the moment where I say no one can pronounce my last name. So thank you for ruining my opening joke by pronouncing my last name. So yeah, I'm Alexander Chatzizacharias. I'm from Utrecht. So it took me roughly 2 days to get here to Rotterdam. People that travel often from Utrecht to Rotterdam get this joke. I like bouldering. I have a way too expensive Magic the Gathering card collection. Not expensive enough, that's very true. And I play a lot of video games. Any other people that like video games here by any chance? Ooh, that's a good score. We're going to have some fun. I work at J-Driven. You might have seen that logo multiple times at this conference, and it's amazing for me to be standing here because I've been visiting Joy of Coding now, I think, for 4 to 5 years, and I've given a lightning talk 5 years ago here. So actually having a full slot is, well, yeah, almost a dream come true. So for the upcoming, I have like half an hour, 35 minutes with you. So I'd like to invite you to, maybe empty your mind. Well, unless you have ADHD, I guess that's a little bit trickier then. And let's just focus on having fun for the upcoming half an hour. I'm a huge, I really like having fun. I had also a lot of fun making the things you're about to see. You could say I had a lot of joy coding them. Hey! Thanks. I really thought very hard about this one. So yeah. I think roughly 1.5, so I like playing games, but I also kind of dab into making video games. Anybody else likes to make video games by any chance? A couple people. So roughly 1.5 years ago, Unity 3D, that's a game engine. Anybody that uses Unity 3D? Well, nobody. Okay, anybody that used Unity 3D before their NCT? There we go. Yeah, so Unity 3D, they decided to NCTify their game engine roughly 1.5 years ago. I think something like that, or 1 year ago by now, something like that. And they were saying, okay, you'll have to pay per install. So if you use our game engine, every time somebody installs the game, you have to pay like 15 cents or something like that, which was a horrible business decision, of course. And I always used Unity. And then I figured, okay, I'm a rebel. I'm going to fight the system. I'm going to stop using Unity. But yeah, what are you going to do then? Am I going to use Unreal, going from the one big corporation to the next big corporation, or going to use Godot, which is open source, or going to make my own game engine? I mean, how hard can it be in the end? Yeah, maybe. How I made my game engine when I decided to become a rebel. And then I figured it was around the time that I went to a talk at DevOps UK, I believe it was, by Trisha G and Holly Cummins, and they said, productivity is messing around and having fun. Who disagrees with this statement? Oh, maybe, I'm not sure. Okay, I'd like to debate you after my talk. But yeah, I really agree with this, that you are the most productive when you are having fun. Because then you get into that zone, into the flow, and before you know it, it is indeed 10 hours later, you've forgotten to eat, drink, sleep, whatever, and you feel like you have really done something in that time. That is typically what I feel when I play World of Warcraft, but that's another story. And when I read this, I'm not sure this is what they were trying to tell people with the talk, but my conclusion was, okay, that means I need to have fun in my IDE. because my IDE is what I use every single day for at least 8 hours a day, plus minus. So that means I need to be able to have around, to mess around and have fun in my IDE. And my IDE of choice, I'm a Kotlin developer, backend. Any backend developers here? Right, front-end developers, a couple. DevOps people, full stack engineers. What do we have left? Farmers. Okay. So I use IntelliJ. Who uses IntelliJ here? Great. Who uses a JetBrains IDE? Okay. Visual Studio Code by any chance? Okay. Well, what you're going to see should work for every JetBrains IDE. It doesn't work for Visual Studio Code. I'm sorry. So I figured I need to be able to have fun and mess around in my IDE, IntelliJ. So IntelliJ has like this, or JetBrains has this IntelliJ plugin platform where it basically allows you to make plugins for their IDEs, right? So I started thinking, okay, how can I turn IntelliJ into a game engine? And the first thing I came up with was the Java Chromium Embedded Framework, or GCEF. Anybody heard of this before? Anybody, did you use it by any chance? So what this allows you to do is, maybe I can show it. Oh, it's already open, great. So what this allows you to do is basically open embedded web browser in IntelliJ. So this is the IDE, and load any JavaScript, HTML, or website or whatever in that embedded web browser. So like that, you can, well, for example, load up a game that's online. Who knows this one? It's the history of Spring. And not Spring the season, Spring the framework from Java. So, and then you can also do things like this very easily, you know, have some simple HTML, JavaScript to just create a scrolling Star Wars text. But yeah, that would be a little bit cheating, I felt, if I were to use this. Of course, I said I'm a gamer. That means frame rates are a must. No weak 30 frames per second. We're aiming for that crisp 120 frames per second because PC master race, right? So, and oh, it's still running. Wait, let me close this. So, there we go. And if I go over here, as you can see, this is the frame rate. Everything you'll be seeing today tries to run on. A crisp 120 frames per second. It's beautiful. It doesn't matter that my screen is 60 hertz, of course. But overall, on my home computer, I tried this as well, and it kind of hits 120 frames per second. So I don't know what the problem is with Activision and EA and those big game publishers and only running 30 frames per second on the Xbox. If I can do it in IntelliJ, you can do it on Xbox. All right. Didn't want to use any game libraries, like the lightweight Java game library. Anybody that used this before by any chance? Okay. So as far as I know, this is what the first versions of Minecraft were built in. So it's a pretty good library. But again, I'm a backend engineer. I don't like to make my life easy. I like to make my life as hard as possible. So no game libraries in that matter. And well, then I had this epiphany. Oh, so if I do this, and if it works, then I can check out any project on GitHub, and every single project will be its own game, and I have like this complete procedural system of creating games based on your code base. I'm going to become rich. Well, spoiler alert, did not become rich, but the idea is use every code on the screen as assets. And to make this happen, well, I'm a Kotlin developer, so we're doing Kotlin. I would like to encourage you to give Kotlin a try, because it is, well, subjectively speaking, the better language on the GVM. Changed my mind. And well, we're using the IntelliJ plugin platform, and it's all built in using Java Swing. Oh my God, this is the first time I said this, and people are like, yay. Until now, it was always like met with shock and horror, like Java Swing. So yeah, for the people that don't know, the JetBrains IDEs are built on top of Java Swing. You have to upload them for them. I have no idea how you keep doing it, Marit. but yeah, so especially coming from like a game engine like Unity 3D and then going to Java Swing, that was an experience. So, and with that, I would like to ask you a question. Does anybody know what game launched the video game industry? Pong. That's true. So I figured a project like this probably is fun to try and start with. It all started with a game industry, and that is Pong. So I have a little demo project with some dummy code here. And then we can go here and play some Pong. There we go. As you can see, we have some basic collision detection, some input, and we can render stuff. So we have a ball and we have the pedals. After I made this, I found out that one side has a little bit of a disadvantage because, well, code tends to be very left-leaning, right? So one has it easier than the other. So yeah, as you can see, well, that is all you kind of need to get started. You need to be able to draw some graphics on the screen. You need to be able to send some input. And you need to be able to, do some collision detection. So it's super basic. Everything in the game industry is basically fake it till you make it. So that is what I did here. So I'm basically just checking vectors if they're overlapping and then just changing the directional vector. Kind of simple stuff. And then I figured, OK, if this is possible, then I can pretty much do whatever I want. Spoiler alert, I couldn't, but I figured I would just continue. And then when you're making games, you always need to come up with a theme. What theme do I need to stick to? So I figured my theme is going to be the cardinal sins of back-end software engineering. And a sub-theme is like a journey through time of software engineering. So the next game that I try to recreate is a game that really drove a lot of people, to the arcade halls to put in the coins in it endlessly. Anybody got a clue? Space invaders, or how I like to call it, is state invaders. And I'm not trying to radicalize anyone here. But when it comes to backend development, we do not like state. We do not like, holding the state in the service. We want to have the state in the database or at the front end, but not in the middle, there, the backend. So I figured I would make something to basically show all the state that you have in your services. OK, time to abolish the state. There we go. And as you can see, we can draw beautiful ASCII main menus. And the code is still there, no worries. We can type start. And we can even have beautiful opening cinematics. Captain, what happened? Somebody set us up the bomb. So who gets this meme, by the way? OK, a couple people. So I've had it that nobody got this meme. And then I was like, oh, man, do I need to change the meme to Skibbity Toilet or something? So it's I'm becoming this old already. So yeah, this is the set us up the bomb meme, one of the original true memes of the internet. With Icon has cheeseburger, that is around that time. So yeah, we have Evil Genius. And as you can see, now we are playing, state invaders. I have enabled God mode for myself because I'm really bad at playing my own games. My games, yeah, I heard that one before, that my games are also too hard. So yeah, that is true. And as you can see, there's a chance of production crashing, which is now at 49%. And every time you defeat one of the aliens, it goes down. And this is an AI calculation, quantum computing that is happening underwater to check what the chances of your production crashing, not just a simple number that just goes down. And if you defeat them all in the end, of course, your production services will never crash because you don't have any state. It is simple as that. So if you have a lot of production issues, just run this game and it's going to be fine. Well, but of course, it is one thing to actually play the game, but I hold a reference to every single variable. So I scan the project, I find all mutable variables, and then once you destroy one, I just delete the line with the variable. Trust me, you're not gonna need it. You know, Yagni, you're not gonna need it. Just yeet it out there, not necessary. And I've also had it multiple times, people shouting after this, can you also do a force push after this? You could. All right. So that was State Invaders. So now we can take, I think it was like 4 or 5 years later, and this next game was a true system seller, or maybe even the first system seller. And a system seller is a game that people go to the stores and buy a complete game console for to be able to play that one game. Anybody got a clue? Tetris. No, not Tetris, I'm sorry. Donkey Kong. Okay. We do not touch Nintendo stuff with a 10-foot pole. They're very litigious. We don't do that. Pac-Man. Or I like to say Pac-Man. And we also saw a lightning talk that briefly talked about this issue. And that is dependencies, right? And pulling in dependencies in your system. You don't really know what all the dependencies are. You don't really know what the transient dependencies are. Don't get me started in Docker images and which Docker images you use, and without really knowing what is in those Docker images, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm looking you front-end developers. I know what you do with npm install. So I figured I should make something around Pac-Man. All right. Sound is on. Okay, let's hope it all works. It does. Also very important, when making games, you need sound. And a good progress bar, very true. Then we can tap Start, and as you can see, so the maze is solvable, by the way. And as you can see, it's a maze. It's so funny that IntelliJ tries to compile. You would think that there is a point, an IDE should think, okay, I just won't try. So what we do is we scan the Gradle file, which is our build system, or the Maven file, or it also works with JetBrains build, something like that, I forgot the name. And we grab all the dependencies and we generate a maze from the strings of the dependencies. So the more dependencies have, the more hell the maze is. And you would say, so those ghosts are, of course, the ghosts as you know them in Pac-Man, but they also represent the ghosts of our past mistakes, because they are the Git commits that introduced the dependencies. So you can see my great project added logging framework for improved security, Log4j 1.2. The Java developers here know this pain. We've got to do something with AI, you know, LangChain4j. Who knows what sound Pac-Man makes? Waka waka. Well, I couldn't use that, but I think I have the next best thing.
Java, 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 Java.
So it gets old really fast, doesn't it? And then you can roam around and try to find the ghosts. A little, issue I found out about this is where the ghosts are placed is completely random. So there's actually a chance they're placed so far away, it takes forever for me to find them. So I will not bother you with that for like 20 minutes until I find a ghost. But do know, once you get to a ghost and you eat it, I go to the Gradle file and delete the dependency. No force push yet, but maybe feature improvement. And as you can see, so this is org.sl for yay. So it is basically really the strings of the dependencies that build up this maze. And this is a little bit how the Git diff looks like after this. All right. So every time I give a presentation, I just have this motivation to show an explosion. I don't know if other people have this as well. So I think I'll just do that now. Figured it would be fun if you're really, really mad at your code, and there's this bug that will never just disappear, that you could just blow it up. And now you can. There you go. So, right? So when it really isn't working, and this is how the diff looks like. So I introduced this to my team when I made this a couple months ago, and then the pull request started being just fix the bug, and then you just see a hole in the code. And then you're like, I get it's technically correct. The bug is not there anymore. And if the code compiles, yeah, well, it's something completely different, right? And it's also kind of funny because when you work with these things, suddenly you have like features, well, bugs, but let's call them features. So if you do something like this, so this is just a console window. I found out that my explosion actually works in the console window as well. So from that moment on, every time I run a unit test and it failed on me, I was like, no, you don't. All right, so let's get back to our scheduled programming. We're going to the early 90s now with a game that set one company on the gaming radar. Anybody got a clue? Not ID software, no. And which game do you think? It's very popular in the early 90s. It's still kind of popular. Not Tetris. Not Doom. Yes, or how I like to say, Sonic, the test dog. And that is how you dodge lawsuits. Because we also heard earlier that we have some kind of love-hate relationship with unit tests, right? There was the question who likes writing unit tests, and there are people raising their hands, and there were like people. And the question was who hates writing unit tests, and then the same people raised their hands. So that is the love-hate relationship that I'm talking about with unit tests. So I figured I should probably make something to make this a little bit more evident that unit tests are there for good. Sometimes. All right. So, gotta go fast. To get this started, we have to type "We love Scrum." We love Scrum. 1, 2, 3. All right. And as you can see, we have full-on opening cinematic now. It's like I know. It's like you're looking at a AAA game that released 2 days ago, but I promise you, it's not. So. As you can see, that little blue thing is supposed to be Sonic, and the evil boss is Dr. Velocitnik, and install our unit test. And then the question is, how are you ever going to release on time if you don't have your unit tests, right? If you don't have that confidence to push to production without all your unit tests being green. And of course, he says, hey, he's going to find us in main.java, and there he will crush us once and for all. All right. So what's happening now underwater is we're scanning the so-called PSI tree, program structure interface. That is basically a tree IntelliJ has with all the calls that all the classes and the variables under the class and the methods, etc., etc. And we are collecting the unit tests. And for each unit test in our system, we create a coin that represents that one unit test. We can walk around. Again, I'm very bad at my own game, so let's see if I can. There we go. There we go. And then we can grab a unit test. And then, if you get hit, you well, lose your coin again. Does anybody guess what happens then? Of course, I go and just delete the test, because if you cannot appreciate the test well enough to protect it against the mushrooms, are you worthy of the unit test? And for some reason, I also heard multiple people asking, can you force push? This really tells something. And then, I told you I was bad at my own games. And we can go something like this and this. And then if you stand at the method call, method invocation, you can actually, let's do it like, okay, let's see if I can make this jump. Right, all right, all right. And then you can actually navigate your whole code base. Instead of control click that you would typically do in IntelliJ IDEA, you can do it through the whole playing this game, which, well, arguably it's much more fun. All right, then I loosen a couple more unit tests. And of course, we have the big bad boss there. Can anybody guess what his weak point is? Yes. Oh my God. Oh. And I just said I was a gamer and everything, huh? And then you can defeat them, and it's all good. All right. Let me revert this. We can continue. Now we're going to take a big jump, roughly, well, 15 years. Anybody that played Guitar Hero? Ooh, quite some people. Guitar Hero 3 in anybody that did that? So anybody that could finish songs on experts of Guitar Hero 3 by any chance? One person. Through the Fire and the Flames? Oh, no. So I figured, so there is like this epidemic going on in software engineering now. It was there with Stack Overflow. You know, you were copy-pasting things, and you didn't really know what you were copy-pasting. You had no idea what was happening. So maybe make something that forces people to really know what's being pasted in their code base, right? So I figured I would make a game that forces people to type in whatever they're trying to paste on a beat of a music, like a rhythm game. And called it Code Hero, because, well, that looked... And if you're good at this, I guess at some point you can even put like Code Rockstar on your LinkedIn profile. So if you try to paste this, let's say when I paste over here, so it's like, hey, paste action detected. Time to prove you're a real Code Rockstar. And it was low amount of events, so we get an easy song. I'm getting better and better at this after. And there you go. And after you finish, you can finish the song for fun. But after you finish the song or whatever you typed, you can see that it's pasted right there. So I think this has to be integrated in every project team from now on. Can you imagine the fun? You ask an AI agent, hey, generate me a REST controller for these unit tests or whatever, and then you have like 3,000 lines that you need to... but that was, so I'm a little bit of a metalhead myself. I see an L-Storm shirt there, so I know I'm not alone. Any other metalheads here? Great. Any people that hate metal music by any chance? Okay, I'm really sorry for the upcoming 2 minutes or so. Who here thinks they are really, who can type blind here? Right. Who thinks they're a really fast typer? All right. Remember you put your hand on. All right. Because if we grab this, and if we grab a little bit more text like this, Again, medium amount of text, so we get a medium song. As you can see, it's a little bit trickier. The worst thing with these rhythm games, once you lose it, when you lose the rhythm, it's just, you just... Okay, so if you have an easy and a medium song, of course you have also a hard song. Can anybody guess what the hard song is? Through the Fire and the Flames. Does anybody want to give it a try? No, the people that just are like, hey, yeah, I can type fast. Yeah? Once, twice, otherwise I'll make a fool of myself. Guess I'm making a fool of myself. All right, and of course, go to here. And this time it's going to be a lot of text. It's going to be like, hey, good luck. The nice thing about Through the Fire and the Flames is that it has a long intro, so you can get a little bit into, you know, the flow of what's about to happen. All right. Yeah. I hope someday somebody's going to send me a YouTube link and, hey, I finished Through the Fire and the Flames. I was like, what, bro? Jeez. So, yeah. Of course, after making something like this, I have feature requests. I know multiple people from JetBrains already know a lot of these feature requests. If there's if you want to take a picture of anything, please take a picture of this and tweet it to JetBrains, tweet it, whatever. They've seen it? Good. Especially, I think, adding MP3 support is very integral to an IDE nowadays. You cannot have an IDE without sounds, I think. Also GIF support. I don't know how about you, but communication at my project is basically 90% GIFs left and forth and 10% text. So I feel it has to be built into the IDE by now. And we have some pet peeves, oh, tricky word, that I won't go into too much detail now. But again, if you want to tweet tweet, toot, blue sky, whatever, anything, this is the slide. So yeah, so this was a lot of fun for me to make. It started, you know, with a crazy idea that we had working and talking with my colleagues, and we're like, wait, it should theoretically be possible, and then you start exploring. So I would like really to remind everyone here, coding is your superpower. Never forget it. Not a lot of people, statistically speaking, can do what you can do with a keyboard and a screen. Well, a screen is actually not even necessary per se. So yeah, coding is your superpower. Please don't use it wisely. Go out there, experiment around. If you have a crazy idea, just give it a try, fool around, have fun, and I can assure you that dopamine hit you get, and I don't think I have ADHD, but I do talk about the dopamine a lot. The dopamine hit you get when you have an idea and you see it come to fruition and you see it working. That euphoria is like next to nothing. So I really hope maybe next year I'll be sitting here again, and somebody of you will show their off-bit experiment on stage here, because not every idea has to be 2 billion SaaS product or whatever, if it brings a smile on your face, it's more than worth the time. I can assure you that. So yeah, can IntelliJ be used as a game engine? Who here thinks yes? Well, I convinced a couple of people. Who here thinks, dude, what the hell are you doing? Who here thinks it depends? Oh, always. So there's one last feasibility check, of course, to actually check if IntelliJ can be used as an IDE. Can anybody guess what that is? Does it run Doom? Yes. Who here thinks that, yes, you can run Doom in IntelliJ?
Definitely.
Who here thinks, no, you cannot run Doom in IntelliJ? Oh, no one? Well, I hope I'll be able to show you that you can run Doom in IntelliJ. But I have to start a sandbox version of IntelliJ because I'm injecting the Doom jar in the IDE. So that could take a little bit of time. Well, that is spinning up, which, okay, it's done. Great. So with that, we can do this. And there we go. And with this, you can run Doom in IntelliJ basically on top of your code, because let's be honest, do you really want to look at your code, or do you want to look at this? Well, it's a very good game back in the day. Right. Very violent as well. I think that is all I had to show you. That's all the time I also had for you to show you things. People have asked me if I could release the games for them to download. If you're in JetBrains IDE, you can scan this QR code and you can download the Code Exploder plugin, and that is basically the explosion you saw. So now you can also blow up things for your colleagues. And can't wait to see the shock on their faces when they get a PR with a hole in it, and that's it. And if for some reason you want to look at the code, for some reason, it's all on my GitHub, and you can just check it out. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, Alex. Really appreciate it. I know what I'm going to do on Monday morning. First, install your plugin.